German police carried out early morning raids in 26 locations in Berlin and surrounding areas after Germany banned a radical Islamist group. Hundreds of German police officers conducted coordinated raids early on Thursday while investigating an organization which was banned over allegations of Islamic extremism. Some 850 police, including SWAT teams, were involved in the raids of apartments linked to members of the organization known as Jamaatu Berlin. The organization, whose name translates literally as the Berlin Group, was banned by Berlin's state interior minister on grounds it was a very radical group which advocated terrorist attacks.
Die Vereinigung befürwortet den bewaffneten Dschihad, selbst bis zur Durchführung von Selbstmordanschlägen. Sie propagiert einen Märtyrerkult, der die Bereitschaft zu Attentaten erhöht. Zudem propagiert sie die Vernichtung von Staaten und die Tötung von Menschen, zumindest in von religionsbezogenen Auseinandersetzungen betroffenen Staaten.
Authorities said that male and female members of the group met regularly in private homes and parks and spread their ideology over the internet and also through flyers distributed in public spaces. Authorities also said that the raids were meant to secure its assets and look for evidence. No arrests have been announced as of now. Now, senior editor of Die Welt, Dylan Bomer, is now joining us live, and he's joining us live from Berlin. Dylan Bomer, welcome to Beyond. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Now, the Senate statement, I'll just read it out for our viewers. It said that the group had propagated a martyr cult, quote unquote, a martyr cult, supported Islamic State ideology, that is the ISIS ideology, rejected the German constitution and called for Sharia as the sole legitimate law. It also highlights that there were severe anti-Semites who were calling for the death of Jews. So it's a really serious charges that have been mentioned against this group. What details can you give us?
Well, I think, first of all, thanks for having me. What's noteworthy here is that on the first glance, it sounds as if the allegations were actually only pertaining to the propaganda emanating from this group. But this is about more than propaganda alone. Even though no attacks were imminent now, this group has been a meeting point for various figures in the Islamist scene in Germany that were linked to attacks. And actually, this group was an offspring of a banned mosque community, the Fusilat Mosque in Berlin, which was banned in 2017 and which had been the mosque of the perpetrator of Germany's worst Islamist attack, the attack on the Christmas market in Berlin in 2016, Anis Amri. And also other Islamists who had attempted to commit attacks in Germany had also been linked to this particular group, all up to Abu Wala'a, the head of the German ISIS cell, who has just been indicted a few days ago and who had been recruiting German Muslims and converts as fighters for ISIS in Iraq and Syria.
Right, that's an important point that you mentioned here. Several members of this banned group belong to a Islamist group, another Islamist group that was banned in 2017 and had connections with Anis Amri, the Tunisian asylum seeker who drove a truck into a Christmas market in Berlin in 2016, killing 12 people. So there are connections to extremists, which is why this group has been banned. Now, there have been raids going on all across Berlin. Can you give us some details about those raids?
Well, first of all, what's remarkable is the number of police that were active in these raids, 850 in 28 locations. You see how many policemen there were in every of those locations. They were actually focusing on 3 city districts that are known to be inhabited by many Muslims and many migrants. And what has also dissipated is that there have been at least scuffles during these raids. There was strong resistance during these raids, and at least 2 police officers were injured during these raids. And it can't be excluded there will be more raids in the future in connection to this case.
We don't have the details yet of why the police officers were injured during the raids, but we will wait for details on that front. Now, the number of Salafists in Germany rose to a record high of 12,150 in 2019, and that is a drastic increase from when the last numbers were released in 2011. Is there fear in Germany of the rise of extremism? You know, France recently or French parliamentarians passed a law which cracks down on Islamic extremism. Is there any such movement or thought in German leaders as of now of imposing a similar kind of law?
There was definitely such a discussion in Germany when France made that move, and when also Austria, our neighboring country, also a German-speaking country, declared it was preparing similar moves. There was that discussion. In Germany, the problem is that after the experience of Nazi dictatorship in the 1930s and 40s, Germans are very weary of any step that might endanger their democracy. So there is quite a weariness to criminalize people based on their thoughts and their beliefs. So German lawyers and police people would normally wait for actions to happen, which of course is a very dangerous strategy if we talk about Islamist terrorism. And then another problem in Germany is that there is simply not enough resources for the police to monitor all these people. Of those 12,000 that you just mentioned, about 1,000 are believed to be people who could pose concrete danger, who could commit an attack, and who would actually need to be monitored 24 hours. And German police estimate that it would take at least 4 people for each one of them to monitor. And German security agency says this is not possible to do.
Daniel Dylan-Bohmer, Senior Editor of Die Welt, thank you so much for joining us on Beyond News.